Hello and welcome to Saturday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we've got a puzzle for you today that's been recommended to us to the nines. It's called Modularrows, and it's by Michael Lefkowitz, sometimes known in sudoku circles as Juggler, a prolific and brilliant creative mind. And this has got such a short rule set. It's something to do with these arrows point to how many cells in the indicated direction have the same remainder when divided by 3 as the arrow cell itself. That's about it. I mean, we'll do the rules properly in a moment, but so many of you have written into the channel and said we simply must look at this. Apparently it is wonderful. I found it on Logic Masters Germany. So you can see there it's got a 96% approval rating. But one of the comments really made me laugh. It was from Quiche, who writes, "This puzzle reminded me of that meme of the missile that knows where it is by knowing where it is not. I constantly had to subtract what I did know from what I did not know, and arriving at a point that I did not know, but now knew." And suddenly the puzzle was solved. So I don't know what that means in the context of solving the puzzle, but it does make me at least intrigued to find out. So this is what we're going to have a look at today. 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty, so hopefully not too monstrous, but we won't know until we get stuck in. So we'll do the rules in a moment or two's time. Couple of things to mention before then. On Monday evening, we are back in the Blueprints Mansion. That is scheduled, so do join us, 10 p.m. UK time. We'd love to have your company. It's been an extraordinary journey, which we started on this weekend a year ago. And I know that because it was Masters weekend when we first did a Blueprints stream. And I've been glued to the Masters for the last couple of nights. Yeah, so that's a year's worth of streaming. So I think officially this is the 40th stream of Blueprints. So we must have missed about 12 weeks during the calendar year, but it's not that many. And it's a testament to that extraordinary game that we are still loving spending time in that mansion a year later. So anyway, that's happening on Monday night. Other big news, is that we have a brand new app out. And it's Blobz Worm. Let me pop that. Oh, that might not work on the screen. Oh no, you can sort of see it. That sort of works, doesn't it? So I mean, many of you will know this already, but we have steadily over time been releasing worms, sudoku worms, which are basically collections of puzzles created by individual constructors. So we've got a worm for Marty Sears, we've got a worm for Juggler, Michael Lefkowitz, but we have just released the sudoku worm of Blobz. You can see it there. I think there's 12 puzzles in all, and that they're fantastic value. They're a couple of bucks or a couple of pounds. In fact, I think they're actually discounted at the moment. So if you enjoy the puzzles of these setters, and who doesn't? If you've been with the channel for any amount of time, you will know of Blobz, and you will know that Blobz's puzzles are so much fun. So there are now more of them available, and that can only be a good thing. Those are available on every kind of device, basically. So you should find them on the App Store, on the Android Store, and on Steam for PC or Mac, I think. Pretending I know about such things. Anyway, what else? Over on Patreon, we've got Sandra and Nala's competition running. Lots of fog sudokus there. In fact, should we have a check-in and see how that's... it's going to be this one. Let's do a reload. So we were 899 solves of the final. It's gone over 1,000. That's incredible. 1,000 people have solved all 8 puzzles from that. We're very close to 2,000 for the first puzzle. Phenomenal work to all of you. And yeah, the feedback we've been getting on this has been lovely as well. So we're delighted that you're enjoying those puzzles. And the competition still has 9 days to run. So if you haven't started yet, you will get them done in time. just go and enjoy. Now, let's do birthdays as well, because I've got a few birthdays to do today. Sunny over there in Alagoas in Brazil. I might be mispronouncing that. I might very well be. But Sunny is turning 16 today and has been watching for over a year, I think, often while drawing. I hope you enjoy your trip to the Berg place today with your family, Sunny. And I hope your sister comes up trumps with with the cake. Many happy returns. And I hope that cake is very well iced, of course. Next, Carter. Carter, you've turned 25 today, and I know this because your girlfriend Sarah wrote to me. I think the two of you are in Auburn. I hope I'm saying that correctly. It must be Auburn in Alabama, where your university has a chant which is War Eagle. So apparently, if I say War Eagle, War Eagle, that's appropriate. Is that like, is it like a football fight song? Because my only knowledge about American universities' fight songs comes from the great Tom Lehrer, who wrote one about Harvard, which was something like, "Fight fiercely, Harvard, fight, fight, fight. Demonstrate to them our skill, albeit they possess the might. Nonetheless, we have the will. How we shall celebrate our victory. We shall invite the whole team up for tea. How jolly. Hurl the spheroid down the field and fight, fight, fight." Anyway, I digress, and that's bad, Simon. Put your brain back in its box and be quiet. No. Do not think about Tom Lehrer. I love Tom Lehrer, by the way, the greatest creative genius that America has produced in nearly 200 years. It's how he described himself. That is not how I described him, but I do find him very, very funny. I probably get cancelled nowadays for liking Tom Lehrer, but you shouldn't. Tom Lehrer is very, very amusing. Anyway, Joshua and Chelsea. It is your 11th wedding anniversary today. Congratulations. I had a lovely email, Chelsea, from Joshua about you, saying that you're the love of his life and his best friend and the most amazing mother to your 4 children. And I hope the two of you have a fantastic celebration today, and I'm sure there will be some cake. Next, we shall go to Argentina, where Mackie, you're turning 18 today. Congratulations on that. And I think you've been watching for a couple of years, and although less recently, if I understand correctly, because your boyfriend complained about being given sudoku dreams. You know what? I quite often have dreams about puzzles, and they're quite annoying, because it's always a puzzle that I can't do, and so sort of the dream drags on during the night, and I think, oh well, I should have been able to solve it now, and then I start to panic in my dream about how can I still be going on this puzzle, but I've also been conscious, if that's the correct word, during the dream of how the rules never quite make sense in my brain, so I can never solve the puzzle. Anyway, Mackie, I hope you have a great birthday, obviously. And I hope the chocolate cake is good. And then finally, Tyler. Tyler, you're turning 23 today. And I know this because your fiancé, Anthony, wrote to me. I think, Tyler, you're in Florida and he's in South Carolina. But Tyler is visiting. I think that you said for the two of you's birthdays. So maybe Anthony and Tyler have birthdays that are close together. He's so proud of you. She used to suffer, Tyler did, with I think still does a little bit with agoraphobia, which actually I have personal experience of, because my sort of best friend growing up suffered with agoraphobia, which is it's from the Greek. Agoraphobia is literally fear of the marketplace, but the way it exhibits symptoms for most people is a fear of wide open spaces. And my friend absolutely was driven to become a golf professional. So you can imagine the trouble that caused. but I do think it's something that you can beat over time. So Tyler, I wish you very well with that. I'm very approving of the Vietnamese coffee cake that Anthony showed me, that I think the two of you are going to be baking and having to eat to celebrate your birthdays. So many happy returns, Tyler, and Anthony too, if your birthday is around this time. And that is all the news. Should we have a look at Modularrows by Michael Lefkowitz? The rules are not going to take long to read. What do we have to do? Let me move my pencil out of the way. We have got normal Sudoku rules apply. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, whoa, and every 3x3 box. My window's rattling. It must be windy. And then we've got modular arrows. So a digit on an arrow counts how many cells. Let's look at this arrow. A digit, right, so the digit on this arrow counts how many cells in the indicated direction have the same remainder mod 3 as itself, including itself. Now, what does that mean? In fact, I might put an example in before we actually release it, just because I know some people aren't comfortable with modular arithmetic. Modular arithmetic is very simple once you understand how it works. So let me explain. And you may have a number pad on whatever device you're using. In fact, you could see it in Sudoku pad. You can see a number pad there. Now, mod 3 means division by 3. So the numbers 1, 4, and 7, they are from the same modular set, because when you divide each of those numbers by 3, you get the same remainder, the same thing left over. You get a leftover of 1. If you divide 1 by 3, 3 goes into 1 0 times with a remainder of 1. If you divide 4 by 3, it goes once, doesn't it, with a remainder of 1. And if you divide 7 by 3, it goes twice with a remainder of 1. So 1, 4, and 7 are from the same sort of mod 3 set. So a vertical stripe on your number pad. But 2, 5, 8 are also from the same modular set. So move a column over in your number pad, because 2, 5, and 8, if you divide any of those numbers by 3, you'll always get a remainder of 2. And if you divide 3, 6, or 9 by 3, well, you'll get a remainder of 0. So what this is saying is, so let's just imagine, let's do an example. If this is a 4, that's saying that in that direction, 4 cells, oh no, it includes itself, hang on. No, it's saying in those 5 cells, 4 digits will be in the 147 set. 4 digits will be, because the modularity of this is the 147 set, 1 remainder when divided by 3. So 4 of those 5 digits, because we've got to include this one. So almost whatever number you put in an arrow, you could say 1 less than the arrow is how many, or 3 of those 4 cells would have to be have this remainder. That might be a way to think about it. I don't know if that's sensible or not. But that's all the rules. So there are only that many rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. So I suspect the reason this puzzle has so many diagonal arrows is that if it didn't, it would be full of 1s, 2s, and 3s. Because in any row or column of a Sudoku, there are only 3 digits of any modularity. There's 1, 4, 7, there's 2, 5, 8, and there's 3, 6, 9. So you could never have 4 of one particular modularity in any row or column, because there aren't 4 such digits. There aren't 4 digits with the same remainder when divided by 3. So what I think I'll start by doing is ignoring the diagonal arrows, of which they're mostly diagonal. Actually, that one isn't. So that must be a 1, 2, or a 3. This one must be a 1, 2, or a 3. That one must be a 1, 2, or a 3. That one must be a 1, 2, or a 3. So there's a 1, 2, 3 triple in row 3. Which makes that, yes, that's okay, isn't it? Because we count the digit. I was thinking I'd already made a mistake, but because that digit counts itself. So yeah, this can't be a 1, 2, or a 3, but it only sees 4 cells. Because it sees itself, we can say it does see this cell. So it has to be a 4. And that means that these 3 digits have to be from the same, because all 4 of these share the same remainder when divided by 3. So these are the digits 1, 4, 7, snooker maximum. And that can't be a 7, because that definitely doesn't see. It could be a 4, although it feels unlikely that it would be, because we'd have a sort of staircase of 1, 4, 7s. And I'm tempted to colour by modularity, actually. Why don't we do that? So these ones we've got to choose a colour now for 1, 4, 7 modularity. We'll make that green, the colour of the bays in snooker. So, what does that mean? It means this can't be a 1. I don't think that can be a 1. Because if it's a 1, it's saying in those 7 cells, there should only be one of the digits 1, 4, and 7. And there would be a 4 and a 1. That's too many. So that's not a 1. That is a 2 or a 3. So if this is a 2, it would be saying this would be a 1, 3 pair. Oh, I see. Oh, no, hang on. So if that's a 2, you'd be saying that one of those digits was a 5 or an 8. And if that's a 3, this would be a 1, 2 pair. And you'd be saying that 2 of these 3 digits would be from 3, 6, 9. This is a weird rule. This is a really weird rule, Michael. Okay. So one of those is a 1, which means, but it will. Okay. Okay, here's an old pencil mark for you. Those 4 cells include 4 and 7. I'm going to claim that might be wrong, but using my adjusted arrow technique, patented. What I'm thinking of is if this is a 1. Oh my goodness, sorry about this wind rattling the windows. It's not wasps today, it's the wind. It's crazy. If this is a 1, it's saying in those 7 cells there is one digit that from the 1, 4, 7 set, but that will be this digit itself. So the 4 and the 7 will have to sit above it in the column. And because I don't know which one of these is a 1, but if that one's a 1, that's 4, 7. If that one's a 1, that's 4, 7. So let's actually put the 1 corner mark in there. And one of them will be 2 or 3. So, whichever, well, we don't know, do we? If one of them was a 2, that would have a 5 or an 8 above it, one of those digits, because it would see itself from the 258 modularity. It would see one further 258 modularity digit below it. So in the column there would have to be the third 258 modularity digit above it. But if this was a 3, then 3, 6, and 9 would be in the 7, and all you would know is that these 2 digits were from either the 147 or the 258 modularity. Oh, good grief. And that one is saying, okay, this one can't be a 1, Because if it's a 1, it's the same principle again, isn't it? In those 8 cells, we'd be saying there was only one of the digits, 147. So you'd have to put the other 2 there, and that is not a Schrödinger cell. And don't get any ideas about making this with Schrödinger cells, anybody, because it's already quite confusing. Okay, so what we should probably do now is find arrows that are near the perimeter. So not this arrow, or this arrow, they feel like they've got too much latitude. This arrow looks like the next best. Because well, the thing is, it could be a 4 again, couldn't it? Which is most distressing. I'm so sorry about this wind, it's going nuts. Hopefully, I mean, the microphone probably makes it seem worse for me than it is for you guys. So actually, if that was a 4, that would be a 1. And then none of these would be green. Or nah, why is that a 1, 2, 3 triple? The answer is probably it isn't. But I sort of like the idea of it being a 1, 2, 3 triple, because there are 6 cells there, aren't there? Hang on. Why would that be the case? And 1, 2, and 3 are all different modularities. So I can sort of see it would work for them to be a 1, 2, 3 triple, because they'd all be different modularities. So they would count, there would be no double counting of cells, and 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 6. So that, I think it's a possible fill for that, but maybe not a necessary fill. If it wasn't 1, 2, 3, then you'd have to have a repeated modularity, wouldn't you? Which would... No, well, oh, okay. That is how to disprove that. That doesn't work. This is a very unusual puzzle. That's really quite pretty to me, though. Let me just explain that. I think this is a 1, 2, 3 triple. 1, 2, and 3 are all from different modularities. They sum to 6, and they are counting those 6 cells. And the reason I think that is this. If they were not a 1, 2, 3 triple, then we are repeating a modularity. We must be. Well, actually, that's not strictly true. You could, I suppose, do 2, 3, 4 in these cells. They are of different modularity, but that's just nonsense, because now these add up to 9, and there are only 6 cells to parcel up, so that won't work. So that's trivially disprovable. But what you could have, absolutely, would be, say, one of these digits being a 4 and one of them being a 1. That would repeat the 147 modularity. But it can't be true, because how would the 1 and the 4 cooperate together down that diagonal? One of them would be saying, I'm only seeing one of my 147 modularity. The other would be saying, I'm seeing 4 of that same modularity. So the best you could, in fact, you can't make this a 4 anyway, but imagine you could put 4 there and 1 there. This 1 would be saying in those 4 cells there's 1 of the 147 modularity. This would be saying in these cells, including itself, there are 4. So this would have to be, it would have to include 2 of the 147 modularity in that single cell, wouldn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. This would have to include 2. So again, it would have to be a bit like that one would have to have been. It would have to be a Schrödinger cell. And if we go higher than that, it must be it's always a gap of 3 if you repeat the modularity. And you can't put 2 of that modularity into the middle cell, ever. So you can't do it. It has to be a 1, 2, 3. And oh, so that was, hang on now, this one is enormous. But that, hang on, I'm sure we can do more. If this is 1, 2, 3. So whichever one of those is 1. So these digits down here can't include any of 1, 4, 7. Because whichever one of these is 1, it counts itself and prevents a 1, 4, 7 digit appearing again on the diagonal. So whichever one of those is 3, yeah, that makes sense, because whichever one of these is 3 is seeing itself as a 3, 6, 9 modularity and 2 of these, and then whichever one of these is 2 is seeing itself as 2, 5, 8 modularity, and then one of those to get up to a count of 2. So these digits are 1 of 2, 5, 8 and 2 of 3, 6, 9. So I think it's either going to be this one or this one that we're meant to look at next. Now this one can't be 4. Actually, I'm going to check this one first, because it can't be 4. And it's only seeing 6, isn't it? So it's got to be 5 or 6. I bet it can't be 6. 6 was ridiculous. That would be 6. That would have to be 3. It would have to, because all... that doesn't work. That's beautiful. Right, let's look at that diagonal and say, if this was 6, is it possible all those digits are from the 3, 6, 9 congregation? And it's not, because I know that either this pair or this pair is a 4, 7 and will hit this indigo diagonal and prevent both those digits being from 3, 6, 9. So we can't do that. That's got to be 5. Which we can now christen a colour. We can give it a colour. Let's give it the colour of purple. Okay, and now we do the same logic again, because I know these two can't both be purple, because either this or this is a 4, 7 pair. So only one of those maximally could be purple, and therefore to create enough purples along the diagonal, all those have to be purple, which means this is 2. This is lovely, isn't it? It's this is 8 now, 2, 5, 8. That's 5 or 8, because it can't be 2 because of this triple. And one of these, so one of these is purple and one of them is green. Okay. It might be this one now, but let me just keep thinking about this for a second. Can I say anything else about these? So one of those, if one of those was 2, it almost feels like it might be possible, because I've just worked out one of those is purple. If both of those, if one of those was 3, no, actually, I think that's okay as well. I'm not sure is the short answer. I don't think I can do much more over here, but I might be wrong. What about this then? Because whatever that is, it can't be 1, 2, or 3, I think. Because whatever colour it is down this diagonal, it's adding itself to whichever colour it matches with in these 3. So imagine this was 3. I know one of these is 3. So this should be counting, well, the 3 in the central box is saying there's 3 in those 6 from 3, 6, 9. But then this being a 3 would be saying that there's effectively no additional 369 digit in those 3, but it would itself be from 369, wouldn't it? So it's adding, it should be a bigger count, whatever this is, from whichever of these it matches with. Yeah, this is weird. This is absolutely weird. So that means this adds all 3 of those digits are the same. That's really hard to... I'm going to try and articulate why I think that's the case. I know that the colour of this is going to share modularity with one of these 3 digits, but not be one of those 3 digits, for the reasons I've already explained. That means it's going to be at least 3 different. So imagine this was 4, it's obviously 3 different from the 1. If this was 5, it's 3 different from the 2. If it's 6, it's 3 different from the 3. So in order for it to be 3 higher than whichever one of these it matches with, all 3 of those have to be the same colour. Now this one can't be green because it's not from 147. So this is either a string of purple or it's a string of a colour we haven't got yet, which we shall make yellow. So this digit is either 5 or 6 again. It's 5 or 6. Depending, yeah, it depends on what this is. If this is 2, this is 5. If this is 3, this is 6, and therefore it's not 5. This is so clever. It's just... I don't even know how to do justice with adjectives to what this is, because it's sort of cunning in the most lovely way where you forgive Michael for doing it to you. Because look, if this is 2, let's actually do it slowly. If this is 2, what's that telling us? It's saying that in those 7 cells there are 2 digits from 258, but in the row there are 3 from 258. So one of those would be purple. But we can't have, if all 3 purples are in those cells, you can't have another purple in box 1 in these, because there are only 3 of the digits 258. So this can't be purple. It's got to be yellow, which means the corner digit is 6. This is a 3. Now there are no yellows in here, so it can work. This is a 9, because this is 3, 6, 9. So, right. So now this is a 1-2 pair. And they are, okay, so they are purple and green. And whichever one is green has double green above it. So either that's all green or that's all green. And whichever one is purple has 1 purple above it. Exactly. But is... yeah, so okay, and that will use up all the... oh, okay, so what we're actually learning is that those 2 are yellow, is what we're actually learning. Because if we think about the makeup of these 7 cells now, I know that whichever one of these is purple has 1 purple above it. And that will complete with this cell, the purples for this box. So it can't. And whichever one of these is green has 2 greens above it, so that will complete the greens for the box. So that means that one of these is yellow, the third yellow in the box. So we've got 2 greens in one of them. So there are 2 greens. So these are yellow and green, aren't they? I think. Because I've got double green in one case, and then I've got purple yellow in the other case. This is quite confusing. Okay. And these are indisputably yellow, so they are from 369. That is not 6, that's not 9. So if that was 9, that would be... No, one of those would be 9. You wouldn't know. If that was... No, you still wouldn't know. Okay, I don't know how to resolve that. And somehow we're meant to be able to do something else now. Which might be that digit. There's an awful lot of purple on that diagonal. Well, I don't... Let's think about this then. I'm not relishing thinking about it, but I'm going to try. What do we know about this digit? It is... If it was a 1, no, it can't be a 1. I think I can rule that out. It can't be a 1. Because if it's a 1, one of those is a green, and it is itself a green, so it's broken, because it would be saying there was only 1 green on the diagonal, and that's definitely 2. It definitely can't be a 2, because there's definitely 5. I mean, yeah, if it is purple, it has to be 8, which seems very unlikely. Because it would be increasing the count of this purple, which already sees 5, so it has to be higher than 5, so it would have to be 8 if it's purple. But I think, I can see another possibility. This could be, it could be green, I think, if it's a 4, and it would see 1 green here, and then all of those would be green. Oh, and if it's a 4, this would be a 1. And that would mean no greens in there, because it would itself be green, and that would seem to work, wouldn't it? So 4, a green 4 here. But could it be 3 and be yellow? Then this would be... No, it can't be 3, because that would make this a 2. That's weird. If this was a 3, so if this is yellow, it has to be 3, because there are there's no possibility of it being 6 or 9, given all these are not yellow. So all 3 of those would be yellow. But this would be a 2, which implies that this digit should be for a 5 or an 8 in order to complete. If this was a 2, obviously we've only got 2 of the digits 2, 5, 8 in those 8 cells. So that should be a 5 or an 8, and it wouldn't be if it was a 3. So, okay, so the way you have to think about this arrow is to think about its possible colour. And that allows you to limit it to either being purple or green. It's not... So if this was 2... No, it's the same again. It's similar logic, isn't it? It doesn't work because you get a surplus of green. A surplus of purples in the thing. So let's do this. What we've just learned is that if this is 2 purple, this has to be purple because we have got to put a third purple in the row. So this becomes purple, but that means we know it's then 8. which means all 3 of those are purple, and I've now got 4 purples in the box. So this is 3, which is yellow. That doesn't tell me what this is. It means that one of those is a yellow 3. Now, so if this is a 4, so these are, okay, these are all the same colour. Because if this is a 4, these are both green. And if this is an 8, these are both purple. So we can we've just got to remember these are the same colour. And I think it might be to do with this one. If that's a 4, those are both green. So these would be purple. And these would all be green. I feel like that doesn't work. But why? If that's a 4, it just feels like I've got too many greens in the grid. If it's a 1, none of these are green. Then this could be green. I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't quite see my way through that. I've got 3 more arrows to look at. I mean, this one looks terrible. I don't know anything about that diagonal. This one is relatively close to the edge. Oh, we've got to count itself. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so it's not bigger than 5. And it's not 2. So it is 1, 3, 4, or 5. Now, can we say anything clever about that? Feels very difficult for it to be. If it's 1, then it's green and all these are not green. That's 3. Are both of those yellow? Ooh, that's a little win. This is a 6-9 pair. I hadn't spotted that at all because I've got to have 3 yellows in the row. And apparently nothing else is yellow by colouring. So what are these colours then? Oh. Okay, so this is 1 green and 1 purple. And this digit, oh, it can't be 4 now. It can't be 4 because 4 would be saying there are 4 green digits on this diagonal. 1, 2, 3 is the most. We might be able to get rid of 5 as well. 5 purples, that would be saying. 1, 2, no, that doesn't work. So this is 1 or 3 now. Now, can we get rid of 3? If it's 3, then 3 is yellow. Oh, that's yellow. 1, 2. Oh, you can't, hang on. You can't put any yet. That can't be yellow. So if that is 3, both of those are yellow. And that's yellow. And if that's 1, oh, then all we're saying is that those are not green. So that would have to be purple. Because it couldn't be yellow because we've had all the yellows in box 1. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Let's look at this one then. So that one, okay, so that one can't be 5, but could be, I mean, but by sudoku, it can be anything else apart from 5. So I think it could be as much. It can't be 6 because these are definitely different colours, aren't they? So we can't make the whole diagonal have the same colour. And I don't think, okay, and it can't be 4 either. Because if it was 4, again, we've got, oh, hang on, if that was, no, it can't, oh, I nearly made a mistake there. But it can't be 4. If it's 4, then this would be green, this would be green, and this would be green. But if for that to be the case, this would have to be a 1, which would mean that it doesn't work, because this 1 is saying I'm the only green on that diagonal. And yet that would be saying, oh, no, I need a lot more green. I need extra green. And that 1 wouldn't deliver the goodies. So this can't be 4. So this is 1, 2, or 3. So these are different modularities, because obviously they can't be the same digit. So does that mean that I don't know how to express this, but because these are different modularities, and they're from the digits 1, 2, and 3, and there are 6 digits there on that diagonal, I feel like it's a bit like this box here, where we were looking down a 6-cell diagonal with 1s, 2s, and 3s. The only thing is that the third colour is not clued, if you see what I mean. So I don't know what that means. The third colour is not clued, but so if this was a 1, this would be 2 or 3, and whatever it was, let's say it was 2, then these digits, those 2 clues together are only cluing 3 of the digits on the 6-cell diagonal. So the other 3 cells on the diagonal would all have to be 3, 6, 9 digits. Well, that straight away doesn't work, actually. So I now know one of those is a 3. I think I'm right. I think basically this 6-cell diagonal here operates like this 6-cell diagonal. It's just I've only got 2 arrows on it. So there's sort of a hidden arrow that, were it to be there, that would be a 1, 2, or a 3 as well. It's just not there. But putting that to one side for a moment, if neither of those was a 3, I think the problem we run into is that on this diagonal now, I've clued 3 of the cells in terms of their modularity, because this would be a 1-2 pair. So there would be the 1 would be cluing itself, the 2 would be cluing those 2, and these 3 would therefore have to be the other modularity, and they'd all have to be yellow, and they can't be. So one of those is a 3, which would be lovely if I knew. Okay, no, that is useful, because the other one of these is not from the 3, 6, 9 modularity, obviously. One of these is a 3, the other one is a 1 or a 2. So where are the 3 yellow digits on this diagonal? They're not here. One of them's there, one of them is in one of those 2, so that is yellow modularity. And is 3 or... it's 3 actually, I think. I've got a 6, 9 pair here, so it seems to have to be 3. So that gives me a 1 in the middle, which I can colour in a moment. That 3 here makes this a 3, because we knew one of these was a 3. So I've got some 3s to colour, which are yellow. I've got another one there by Sudoku. I mean, it's outrageous being made to do Sudoku in a Sudoku puzzle, but I just had to do it. This is good. That's a 6. That's a 9. So one of these is a 3, and it looks like it's got to be this one. Yeah, because that is correct. Because remember, I can't put a yellow digit on this diagonal, or this 5 gets totally scuppered, or whichever one of these is the green 1 gets scuppered. So the 3 has to go there, and that's massive, because now this can't be a green 1, because it couldn't have 2 greens above it. So that's got to be green 1. This has got to be 2. green. That's not green. So the green, the 2 needs a purple above it, because it can only have 2 purples in the 7 below it, or 7 below it, including itself. So this is not a 4 or a 7. This is a 5 or an 8. And this is double green and is 4, 7. So let's just tidy up our pencil marking and see what we can do with this. So now all of those are green, so that can't be a green. Oh, hang on, that's a 1 by Sudoku, which is green. So that's the only green on the diagonal. So this digit's got to be purple, because the 3 has got its quota, the 1 has got its quota, so the other 2 digits just have to be purple. That's all they can be. Now, what that means, I'm not sure. One is in one of these cells. 1 is not there anymore. So this digit's green. I didn't shade it, but it's green. Okay, this can't be a 1 then. And these 3 digits are 2 yellows and 1 purple. And this can't be yellow because it sees all the yellows. So that's a purple. That's a 258. Now, I've got a 1 here. That makes this a 4, which is that actually makes that a 7 and that a 1. But that 4 says all of those are green, which is going to do something to this, I think. Because these, that's a 7. It sees 1 and 4 in its colour. So these are from 1, 4 and 7, and that can't be 7. And that can't be 1. But now these can't... Remember all these were the same? Well, they can't be green anymore, can they? They've got to be purple, which makes this a corner 8. So these are 2s, 5s and 8s, not 8s. And 6 in the box has to be there by Sudoku, look. So 9 is in one of those cells. Which means 9 is in one of these cells. Oh my goodness, there's now some sort of hurricane that's blowing in. No. No. Stop it. Stop it, naughty wind. No. Look at that digit. That's purple, isn't it? It sees 3 yellows in its box and 3 greens in its column. So that's got to be a purple. Whoops, I want to put 258 in. And there are probably quite a few cells like that in the puzzle now. If I was diligent. So one of those is yellow. What's the other colour? Green. So this is a green-yellow pair. One of these is a 6 by Sudoku. This digit sees 3 greens in the column and 3 purples in the box. So that is yellow and is 6 or 9. So one of these is yellow and one of these is no, not green. One of these is yellow, one of these is purple. This can't be a 5 at the top of the grid because of the nature. Where's 2 in the first column? That can't be a 2. That can't be a 2. So that's got to be a purple 2, which is lovely. That gets me, well, not maybe lovely, but it's done something. So, oh no, it's not maybe done as much as I was hoping, but it did something. So if this was purple, it would be 5, and that would be 8. So I suppose, okay, so, right. So these are both green. That's the most obvious thing to work out, isn't it? Because in the box, we've had 3 yellows, we've had 1 purple, 2 purple, and one of these is purple, so that's enough purples. for any box. So these are both green, and that's therefore 1, 4, and that one is 4, 7. So now we can ask where 1 goes in row 1, and we don't know the answer, or at least I don't know it, but it's in one of those two. So, where do we go from there? One of those is a 3 by Sudoku, so we should probably check whether this arrow can be a 3 in a moment. One of those is a 3 by Sudoku. Everything down here is yellow-purple because we've had the 3 greens, so maybe that's a sensible pencil mark to, or sensible colouring to do. I'm not sure it is, but all of these are purple-green. Just have to spot where we've got 3 of a colour in a row. Now, I don't know what to do now. I'm not sure. I'm actually getting a bit colourblind looking at this. It's there's a lot going on, isn't there? What do you think? Maybe it is this one. Okay, so I know that that's a yellow, which is a 3, 6, 9, looking down this diagonal, which has actually got quite a few greens on it, look. Can we do more with green? Don't think we can. One of those is a 7. 4. No, that could be a 4. 1s. Let's double click 1s and see if they're going to be friendlier to us. Don't think so. These can't be green, so they're also yellow-purple. Only one of them can be 6, so they really are 1 yellow and 1 purple. So I know the colour of this digit, don't I? That might be wrong. That's quite important, actually, because that is important. I think this digit is like a naked purple 5. It just doesn't look anything like it. Now, why do I think that? Well, it's just this box. I seem to have 3, 6, and a 9 in one of those. So this can't be yellow and it can't be green. So it has to be purple, and therefore it has to be 5. But that's massive, because if that's 5, I've done all my purples for column 1, so this can't be purple. So that has to be purple. So this is 5 or 8. This digit is a 7, actually, because it's green and it sees 1 and 4. So that's a 7. So that's a 4, that's a 1, that's a 4, and that's a 7. So 7 is in one of those 2 cells. That 4 sees that digit, so that's a 7. This column has not had a 1 in it. So this is a 1, 9 pair. So this is a 4. 7 in row near... Oh yeah, no, that's great. Where's 7? In row 8. It's got to be there by Sudoku, which means that's not purple. So that is a 7. So that is a 7. That seems to be true by pencil marking. Now I've just changed. Yeah, that is that. Okay, I was about to check that. I was worried that I was taking purple out of here. Sorry, taking green out of here, and it wasn't valid. But actually, it does see 1, 4, and 7. So it definitely can't be green, and it definitely can't be yellow. So that is a 2, 5, 8. It's a 2 or an 8, but that gives me all the purples in this column. So everything, and then we've got all the yellows. So everything else is green. Those 2 are green. So that one's a 4. So this must be a 1. I've got all my greens in this row now. Okay, this is getting exciting actually, because I don't think we're a million miles away from being able to do this. Where is 4 in box 5? And the answer is there by sudoku. Where in... that didn't work. Where's 4? I was going to say where's 4 in box 8, but I think it's got 2 places. But this row, we must know something about it. Not sure actually. I'm not sure. Let's see. We could... That digit is... It's definitely not green, and it's definitely not purple. That is a yellow digit, which is a 6 or a 9. So I've got a 6-9 pair in those 2 cells. So this digit... Oh, that's a 7 and has been a 7 forever. Sorry. Okay. So does this see all of... It sees all of green, I see that. Does it see all of purple or yellow? No, because it could be a 9, or it could be a 2 or an 8. That's a 7 now by sudoku. So now in this row, this has become a purple, which is going to be exciting. Now that's 5 or 8, therefore, as a purple. So these digits are 1, which is green, and purple something. And I still haven't done this arrow, have I? Which I know is either yellow or purple. So let's just pop digits in then. So it's yellow or purple, which is all of these. I mean, many of these are going to be absolutely ludicrous, because actually there's a lot of green on this diagonal, which is obviously not going to contribute to the count of this. So the maximum count here is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it can't be 5, 6, 8, or 9. It's a 2 or a 3. Now, if it was a 2, what would be saying 2 purples on the diagonal, which would be that digit and that digit. So that would have to be either green or yellow. Now the alternative is that this is a 3, which is yellow, which would make that one. So these would both be yellow. That might be fine as well. If this is a 3, this is yellow. If this is a 2, this is either yellow or green. Bother. In fact, green 4 could well be in this position. There's sort of an X-wing of green 4s left. There's 5 is a bit restricted in box 6. How many 7s have I got in this grid? Loads. All of them. How many 1s have I got in the grid? Not all of them, but quite a few. And which arrows have I not used then? There's going to be an arrow here somewhere that I haven't obeyed. I haven't obeyed the rules of that 4. No, that 4's done. Do we think it's 3, 6s and 9s that we've underperformed with? Or is it 2s, 5s and 8s? No idea. Absolutely not got a Scooby-Doo. I need to find... Okay, this digit... see, that's no good. I can see it can't be 9, so this digit is not yellow, but it could still be green 4. Or, of course, it could be purple, in which case it would be a 5. Actually, oh, that's interesting. So this digit here, if it's green, it's 4. If it's purple, it's 5. And it can't be yellow. So that's only 4 or 5. So 2, 4, 5, 9. 4, 5, 9. Nah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure quite where I'm meant to be looking here. 2, 5, 9. I'm wondering whether it's sudoku or whether it's probably arrow logic. Oh, hang on. Here's an arrow I've not used. Oh, this is exciting. This 3 arrow, I need to put 2 more yellows. These are both yellow. So that's great. That's now a 9. Okay, that's going to do something, he says. Probably. It's probably doing something. This is a 6, actually, because it sees 3 and it sees 9. So that's... Okay, so I've got all my yellows in this box now. Oh, that's it. That's done it. That's done it. Because if this was a 3, didn't I have to make that a yellow? Hang on. If that was a 3... Yeah, if this is a 3, I've got 1 yellow there, 1 yellow there. That would have to be yellow. That'd be 4 yellows in this box. That's beautiful, isn't it? So that's got to be a 2, which unwinds my 3 X-wing, which is a nice thing to do. So this is a purple, and it sees its total number. So this has got to be green, because it can't be yellow and it can't be purple, or the 2 would be too big. So that's the 4, which unwinds my 4 X-wing. That's just beautiful setting this. It's ridiculous. Now, these are both purple. This one is a 5. This one's naked. It's a 5. It sees 2 and 8, either through its box or its row. So that's a 5. That's an 8. That's a 5. That's an 8, I think. So that's a 5. That's a 5. That's a 2. That's an 8, that's a 2. Looks like all the purples are going to be resolvable, actually. I must put 2 in there, which means this is 6. Now, let's get the colouring correct. So these digits now are an 8 and a 9 I want to claim, which is... Okay, so... That's probably, oh, hang on, what's that digit? That must be, 5 I can place. Now 5 is definitely purple. Just using sudoku. So this digit here is yellow 9, is what it is. That's all it can be. That's going to do some 9s. So 9, 6, 6, 9, 9, 8. So that's yellow 9. That's 8 is purple. So that's purple 8, look. By sudoku, so this is now yellow 6, and that's purple 8 by sudoku, which means this is purple 2 by sudoku, so that can't be purple anymore and has to be yellow 6. That's a 2. Now, what do we need up here? We need one of these digits has to be 8. That's got to be that one. So it's an 8 and a 1. We know the colouring, therefore. And the 1 means this is a 1, green 1. So that's a 1. That's got to be green. That's got to be yellow. 9. This has got to be yellow 9. And this has got to be purple 5. And I've almost certain, well, I've solved the puzzle. I've almost certainly made a ricket of the colouring somewhere. It's a brilliant puzzle, isn't it? It's really weird the way those Modularrows work. Let's see if it's right. Yay. Fantastic. What a fantastic puzzle. Taken me a little bit over an hour. to figure my way through it. But there was a bit of Tom Lehrer at the start. I mean, probably that was 30 minutes of Tom Lehrer, and I only really solved the puzzle for 40 minutes. I think we can all agree that's definitely what happened. Brilliant puzzle from Michael, as usual. Let me know in the comments how you got on with the puzzle. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.